If you fly fish in Southern Ontario long enough, you will definitely come across the name Ian Colin James. Ian was Ontario's first fly fishing guide and a staple in the community, developed a lot of terrific flies, and this is one of them. The Puke Fly is a very simple to tie but extremely effective bass fly. Also works great on panfish, trout, steelhead, carp, and pretty well anything else out there. It was designed to imitate a dead minnow, and it is extremely versatile in rivers and lakes. Let's see how to tie it. For a hook, we're going to use a nymph hook. This is a Hanak 230 wet fly hook in a size 8. You could tie it a little bigger, you could tie it a little smaller. Generally, you want to tie it on a fairly short shank, just kind of standard nymph hook. So I'm going to grab one of those and we'll pop it into the vise. For thread, you can use a fairly heavy thread. This is a Veevus power thread in a 140 denier in white. You want to use white thread just to match the body as it will bleed through. So I'm going to start my thread up at the eye of this hook and then take wraps back down towards the bend just to build up a nice thread base, lock everything in. Trim off the waste there. I'm going to take my thread back up to maybe about the 3/4 mark, call it, on this hook. And I'm going to get some eyes. The eyes on this are bead chain. You can get this in all kinds of different sizes and different colors. The original is silver. It blends nicely with the white. You could mix it up if you want. And with a pair of wire cutters, I've just cut off a pair of eyes here. What I'm going to do is just place them where my thread is here across the hook, and I'll just put one wrap across to hold it so you can see what I've done. Just laid it across the hook and made a wrap of thread over that bridge in the middle here. Now, to secure these eyes, what I'm going to do is come over, making sort of like X wraps, where I'm going one way and then around the other way to try and center these eyes perpendicular to the hook shank. You can see how they've set there. And I'm going to come in, start adding a little bit more tension, and then to really keep these from twisting, we're going to come around one side of the eyes and then wrap over the hook, and then the other side of the eyes and wrap over the hook. Just alternating directions here so that your thread is pulling in multiple directions. Just trying to stabilize those eyes, keep them from spinning. And then just to really reinforce things, I usually like to apply some kind of adhesive to keep it from moving. So this is a bit of Solarez Bone Dry UV cured resin. Super glue works very well too. I'm just going to put a little dab on my thread wraps in the middle there and hit that with our light to lock that in. Now that's not super durable on its own, so I'm going to make a few more wraps, but we're pretty well set now. And those eyes will never come off. Worst case, if you screw this up a little bit, is they might twist a little on you as you're fishing, but that's reasonably solid there. So I'm going to take my thread back down to the bend of that hook, and we're almost done. We're going to use some white rabbit fur. So this is just a white rabbit zonker. For the tail, I'm going to take a pinch, and you can trim it off or just rip it off the hide. Trim that off here. Pinch of hair, like so. I'm going to tie this in just a little longer than the shank of the hook, hanging off the back so the tips are facing backwards. Make a loose wrap over that to catch it, and then a few more good snug wraps. There we go. Now the body of this fly is the same material here, so that white rabbit fur. And for this step, I do like to just pull off some hair. And what you're going to do with that hair is just sort of loosely mix it in your fingers, scramble up those fibers a little bit, and then we're going to use this as dubbing. So to dub our thread, we take a small pinch of that, we place it next to our thread and roll it between our fingers until it adheres to the thread. And when you're doing this on this fly, you actually want to do it somewhat lightly. So that's actually a little bit tight for my liking. I want to use a little less pressure than that, so it's just barely clinging on there. And the reason for that will become apparent in a second. I'm going to start wrapping this on my hook, starting at the base of the tail there, and then working forwards. You want to dub this fairly liberally, because we're going to brush it out. We want to make sure there's enough hair that we do maintain some kind of body. So even overlapping wraps a little bit is fine. And we're just going to keep progressing towards the eye of this hook, taking little extra pinches of rabbit as we need it. So I've gotten up behind the bead chain eyes now. I'm going to keep going, this time wrapping between those eyes, like so, to fill them in. And then I'm going to put on just a touch more right at the head here. Something like that. Real bushy, unkept looking thing. That's what we like. And at this point you can half hitch or whip finish, trying to pull any loose hairs back from the eye of the hook. Trim away your excess. And then, to give this fly a little bit more life, we're going to pick out that dubbing a bit. I've got a little dubbing brush here. It's just a piece of Velcro. And I'm going to run this over the fly and really try and pick out a lot of that rabbit fur. Don't be shy about it. Anything that comes off of the fly was probably going to come off as you fished it anyways. That's now got a little more body to it, nice little taper, and it's going to be super translucent and soft in the water. At this point, I'm going to take just a little bit more of our adhesive here, whatever your preference is, and just touch up those thread wraps at the eye, trying to keep it off of the rabbit fur, and then hit it with our light till it's locked up, and that is the Puke Fly. It's a terrific fly. You generally want to fish this like small strips or really just dead drift it. Again, thinking like a dead minnow, like a flesh fly kind of thing, and it works really well. Don't be scared to just tie it with like a bead head as well if you want to fish a little bit deeper, want a heavier version for deeper pools and rivers. It can be a really good option too. Try it out, let us know how you do.